Hello, English learners, and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
Erica, today we are really excited, right?
Yeah, we've got a great lesson today all about real English.
Exactly. English that you hear in movies and TV shows.
Yeah, speaking of movies, today's podcast takes place at the movies.
Exactly, and that's why it's so fun today.
Uh-huh.
Okay, great. So before we listen to our dialogue, let's take a look at our vocabulary preview.
Vocabulary preview.
In today's vocabulary preview, we have two words. And the first word is inconsiderate.
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 So, Erica, what is it when someone is inconsiderate?
If someone's inconsiderate, they're not thinking about the feelings of other people.
Right. So, for example, yesterday I was on the subway and it was full.
Right?
And an old lady was standing there and no one got up to give her their seat.
That was pretty inconsiderate.
Great. So now let's take a look at our second word, and it's keep it down.
Keep it down.
Keep it down.
Keep it down.
So why don't we listen to some examples on how we use keep it down so we can understand?
Example 1.
Excuse me, do you mind keeping it down? It's after midnight.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Example 2.
I'm trying to study. Do you mind keeping it down?
Example 3.
You mind keeping it down? I'm trying to watch the game.
So that means be quiet.
Yes, don't make so much noise.
I used to hear this one all the time from my mother.
I think we all did when we were children.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's listen to the dialogue for the first time. It's gonna be kind of fast.
But don't worry about it if you can't understand everything. By the end of today's lesson, you will understand this dialogue.
Those people in front of us are making so much noise. It's so inconsiderate.
Don't worry about it. It's not such a big deal.
Oh, I can't hear a thing. Excuse me, can you keep it down?
Sure, sorry about that.
Someone's phone is ringing.
Honey, I think it's your phone. Did you forget to switch it off?
Oh no, you're right. That's so embarrassing.
Do you mind keeping it down? I'm trying to watch a movie here.
Well, I hate it when people's phones ring when I'm watching a movie.
I think everyone gets kind of angry, but we're going to talk about this a little bit later. Why don't we take a look now at our language takeaway?
Language takeaway.
So the language takeaway is our most important words for today's lesson. And our first word today is not such a big deal.
Not such a big deal.
Not such a big deal.
So when something is not a big deal, it's
not a big problem.
It's not important, right?
Exactly.
Okay, let's listen to some examples.
Example 1.
I can't get these files to you by tomorrow.
It's okay, it's not such a big deal.
Example 2.
I'm really sorry. I'm gonna be 10 minutes late for the meeting.
It's not such a big deal. Peter and Liam are late too.
Now let's look at our second word, and it's switch it off.
Switch it off.
Switch it off.
Switch it off.
So this word means to turn it off.
To turn something off.
Now, we can use it in 3 different ways.
Yeah, this one is a little bit complicated because it changes a little bit depending on how you use it. So, Marco, I think you've got some examples for us.
Right. So, for example, I can say, Did you switch off your phone?
Or you could say, did you switch your phone off?
Right. Or simply you can ask, did you switch it off?
I think this one is a little bit hard. Let's look at a couple more examples.
Okay, so I can say, for example, switch off the TV.
Switch the TV off.
Or switch it off.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit more clear.
Yeah.
But you know what? We even had trouble with that one, didn't we?
Yeah, we had to do it a couple of times. Okay, now let's look at our last word, and it's can't hear a thing.
Can't hear a thing.
I can't hear a thing.
Can't hear a thing.
Okay, we have some examples for this phrase, so let's listen.
Example 1.
What's going on in there?
I don't know. I can't hear a thing.
Example 2.
What? I'm sorry, this music is too loud. I can't hear a thing.
So that's like saying, I can't hear.
Exactly, I can't hear anything.
It's too loud.
Right. So now we are ready to listen to our dialogue a second time. It's going to be slower.
This time, listen for some of the key words we were explaining.
Those people in front of us are making so much noise. It's so inconsiderate.
Don't worry about it. It's not such a big deal.
I can't hear a thing. Excuse me, can you keep it down?
Sure. Sorry about that.
Someone's phone is ringing.
Honey, I think it's your phone. Did you forget to switch it off?
Oh no, you're right. That's so embarrassing.
Do you mind keeping it down? I'm trying to watch a movie here.
Okay, great. Now with the dialogue slower, it's really understandable.
Yeah, I think you could catch those keywords a lot better.
Perfect. So now we are ready to look at putting it together.
Putting it together.
So in putting it together, we help you use a great phrase in different ways. And today's phrase is, do you mind?
Do you mind?
Do you mind?
Okay, so let's listen to some examples on how you can use this phrase in different situations.
Example 1.
Do you mind holding my coat for me?
Example 2.
Oh, I forgot my wallet. Do you mind paying for dinner?
Example 3.
Do you mind turning off your phone?
So this phrase is usually pretty polite. I could say to you, Marco, do you mind holding my coat for me?
And that's really polite.
Yeah, so would you mind, do you mind are very polite phrases.
But depending on your voice and how you use your tone, it could be a little bit sarcastic, right?
Yeah, it could be a little bit rude if you say, would you mind keeping it down?
Exactly, like we heard in our dialogue.
Yeah, so that's not so polite.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, in English, you have to be careful because your tone of voice tells the other person how you're feeling, if you're angry, sad, or just like in any other language.
Yeah, that's true. So, I mean, using a phrase like, do you mind is a great phrase, but make sure you keep a positive tone in your voice.
Exactly. So now that we've talked about all these great things, we can listen to the dialogue a third time, but it'll be at its normal speed.
Those people in front of us are making so much noise. It's so inconsiderate.
Don't worry about it. It's not such a big deal.
Oh, I can't hear a thing. Excuse me, can you keep it down?
Sure. Sorry about that.
Someone's phone is ringing.
Honey, I think it's your phone. Did you forget to switch it off?
Oh no, you're right. That's so embarrassing.
Do you mind keeping it down? I'm trying to watch a movie here.
So I know that in different countries, there are different habits about watching movies.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Erica, what's it like in Canada?
Well, in Canada, it's really common to eat popcorn and candy and maybe chips while you're watching a movie. But if your phone rings in the movie theater, this is a big problem.
I imagine it is. I mean, I would be upset also.
What about in Ecuador?
Well, in Ecuador and in South America, usually people can bring in food from the outside.
Really?
Yeah, so it's not really uncommon, depending on the city, to find people bringing in chicken or some sort of like really smelly food.
No way.
So you get either really hungry or really upset, but that's what happens.
You know, I used to live in Switzerland, and in Switzerland, you would have to eat before you watch the movie. There was no popcorn, no soda, no candy inside the movie theater. Can you imagine that?
I could not live with that because the whole purpose of going to the movies is to have some popcorn and relax and have a good time.
You can't have a movie without popcorn.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about how to ask someone to be quiet today. And I hope that you'll go out and try a few of these phrases in your daily life.
Yes, and I hope also that you visit our website at englishpod.com and leave all your questions and comments.
Marco and I are there every day, so we'll be happy to answer your questions. But until next time,
Bye.
Goodbye.
Are you looking for an easy and fun way to learn English? Welcome to our channel. We provide simple and clear English conversations to help you improve your English skills. Whether you are a beginner or want to get better at speaking, listening, reading, or writing, our channel is the perfect place for you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and today we're talking about sports and outdoor activities.
That's right. We are taking a look at a lot of different adventure sports. So they're not just regular sports like tennis or soccer. These are more dangerous sports.
That's right. So adventure sports is the topic. This is intermediate level. Let's check out the dialogue, and we'll be back in a moment.
Welcome to Adventure Tours. How may I help you?
I want to book a tour with adventure sports.
Excellent. Our company has more than 10 years of experience in the adventure tourism and sports field. Let me show you some options. This is our most popular choice. Our river guides will take you on a whitewater rafting trip followed by a ride in a hot air balloon.
I don't really think I'm ready to throw myself down a river full of jagged rocks in a rubber boat, or go up in the air in a wicker basket held up by an oversized balloon. What else do you have?
Well, in that case, we can take you hang gliding with one of our experienced instructors. It's the closest you can get to flying.
What? You mean strap myself to a flimsy kite? No, thank you. Next?
Okay. Well, why don't you tell me a little bit more about what you would like? We have everything from mountain biking to rock climbing to street luge.
I'm thinking something exciting, but safer.
I have the perfect option. This package will take you on a hiking trip through the Himalayas for 3 days, and afterwards there's a dog sledding journey.
That's more like it.
All right, we're back. So obviously this tour agency or tour operator has a lot of different options, a lot of them exciting. So why don't we take a look at some of those on Language Takeaway.
Language takeaway.
So the first one has to do with water. This is called whitewater rafting.
That's right. So whitewater rafting. Now, rafting means that you go in a raft.
That's right. It's a special kind of boat, not a wooden boat, not like a big boat you see in the ocean. Mm-hmm. This is a special boat for rivers, maybe.
That's right. It's an inflatable rubber boat. So he also described it as a rubber boat.
Okay, rubber is the material it's made out of.
That's right. So you go in this boat in a river, and it's called white water because it has because it has rapids. So the river is moving very quickly, and you can see that it's a little bit dangerous to go swimming in a river like this.
That's right. So when the water goes really fast or when it hits some rocks, the color changes from being blue or brown to white. And that's why it's whitewater rafting.
That's
and
right.
It's very, very scary and very dangerous.
That's right, but very exciting. So that's considered an adventure sport. And then the trip was followed by a ride in a hot air balloon.
Well, everyone's seen balloons before. Sometimes we give children balloons at the fair or maybe for their birthday. Balloons are basically rubber filled with air. But a hot air balloon is a very special kind of mode of transportation, actually. You can travel in a hot air balloon.
That's right. It's a big, big balloon that has a basket under it. And the person actually described it as a wicker basket. A wicker is the material that's used in the basket, right?
That's right. You can have wicker furniture, like wicker chairs. It's just a way to basically make furniture out of this kind of bark or natural material.
So a hot air balloon is a very big balloon, and it's filled with hot air, usually by some sort of fire that's under it. And because it's filled with hot air, it goes up in the air. And as you say, you can use it as transportation, maybe to go very long distances carried by the wind, because there's no real way of giving it direction, or just for fun.
That's right. It's another dangerous but less dangerous kind of sport. But after that, we actually have one that I think you have some experience with. It's called hang gliding.
That's right. Hang gliding it's another type of sport, also a type of flying sport. And basically, you get on a hang glider.
Okay, so if you've seen this before, you'll know that it looks like someone is wearing wings.
That's right.
It's a big kite that you wear.
It's a big kite. It kind of looks like a triangle, like a kite, and you fly in it. So it has no motor. It has not like the hot air balloon. It has no fire. So you just basically glide. You just sail through the air, the atmosphere.
Sounds very peaceful.
It is.
But they say that you should go with an instructor. So what kind of instructor does this tour company offer?
That's right. The tour operator talked about taking you on a hang glider trip with one of our experienced instructors.
So experienced is the key word here. You want someone who has done this many times before, someone who knows what they are doing.
That's right. So an experienced instructor is a person that has, as you say, a lot of experience, or is a professional. So that's an experienced instructor.
Right. You could even say, I want to take flying lessons with an experienced pilot.
Right. Or you can even talk about maybe a chef. He is a very experienced chef.
He's been a chef for a long time.
That's right. So hang gliding. And our final sport, very exciting as well. We are going dog sledding.
Okay, so this is basically a winter sport, or a sport that you do in snowy places. You stand or sit on a sled, and a team of dogs, so that means many dogs, pull you across the snow.
That's right. So you go on a sled, which is basically usually made out of plastic or wood, and this is to go on top of the snow. And as you say, a team of dogs pull you. I think you can see this in movies. This is kind of like the mode of transportation in places where there are no roads, there are no other ways of getting places, that you just get pulled by dogs.
Like Alaska or the Arctic Circle, somewhere very, very far north.
Exactly. So a lot of great adventure sports, very exciting. I think it's time for us to listen to the dialogue again. And we'll be back in a bit with Language Takeaway Part 2.
Welcome to Adventure Tours. How may I help you?
I want to book a tour with adventure sports.
Excellent. Our company has more than 10 years of experience in the adventure tourism and sports field. Let me show you some options. This is our most popular choice. Our river guides will take you on a whitewater rafting trip followed by a ride in a hot air balloon.
I don't really think I'm ready to throw myself down a river full of jagged rocks in a rubber boat, or go up in the air in a wicker basket held up by an oversized balloon. What else do you have?
Well, in that case, we can take you hang gliding with one of our experienced instructors. It's the closest you can get to flying.
What? You mean strap myself to a flimsy kite? No, thank you. Next?
Okay. Well, why don't you tell me a little bit more about what you would like? We have everything from mountain biking to rock climbing to street luge.
I'm thinking something exciting, but safer.
I have the perfect option. This package will take you on a hiking trip through the Himalayas for 3 days, and afterwards there's a dog sledding journey.
That's more like it.
All right, we're back. So now we're going to take a look at 3 quick adjectives that we saw in this dialogue on Language Takeaway Part 2.
Language takeaway.
This first adjective is something I'm not a fan of. Let me just say, if you ever go rafting and you see rocks, you want to avoid or you want to stay away from jagged rocks.
That's right. So the adjective jagged refers to maybe sharp or they can cut you, right?
That's right. So something that is jagged is not smooth. It's the opposite of smooth.
That's right. So maybe you've seen some rocks that have that are very pointy or that have things that can easily hurt you or cut you. Those are jagged rocks.
Broken glass can have jagged edges, and that means you want to avoid touching it because it can hurt you.
Exactly. So jagged is a way of describing something that's maybe sharp, pointy, or very dangerous that can cut you. And then moving on, when we were talking about the hot air balloon, this person very cleverly said that he doesn't want to go up in the air in a basket held by an oversized balloon.
Okay, so he's exaggerating. Like you said, he's being clever or silly. He's just afraid of the balloon. Mm-hmm. But basically, he's saying an oversized balloon is a very, very, very big or unnaturally big balloon.
Right, so bigger than normal. So an oversized balloon would be a balloon that's bigger than normal. Or maybe I've seen an oversized...
In the early 1990s, I remember a clothing trend. A lot of people like to wear oversized t-shirts.
That's right. So t-shirts that were way too big for you or maybe unnaturally big, those would be oversized t-shirts.
Like XXXL.
Exactly. All right. And our final adjective when he was talking about hang gliding, he said that he's not ready to go up in the air strapped to a flimsy kite.
Okay, so the key word here is flimsy. Mm-hmm. We already talked about a kite. It's something that flies in the air. Mm-hmm. But something that's flimsy is not very stable or sturdy.
That's right. So it doesn't seem like it's very solid. So if you have a kite...
So a normal airplane is very sturdy, but a paper airplane is very flimsy. It's thin. It moves around a lot. You can't control it.
Exactly. So it's not very solid. It's not very, as you said, sturdy. It doesn't really seem like it can stay up in the air for very long.
And it definitely can't support someone's weight.
That's right. So you can even have a flimsy chair. Maybe the chair is a little bit loose or it doesn't seem like it's very strong.
It feels like it might break.
That's right. So flimsy, that's the adjective there, flimsy. So that's all the adjectives we have for you today. Why don't we listen to the dialogue quickly one last time, and we'll be back to talk a little bit more.
Welcome to Adventure Tours. How may I help you?
I want to book a tour with Adventure Sports.
Excellent. Our company has more than 10 years of experience in the adventure tourism and sports field. Let me show you some options. This is our most popular choice. Our river guides will take you on a whitewater rafting trip followed by a ride in a hot air balloon.
I don't really think I'm ready to throw myself down a river full of jagged rocks in a rubber boat, or go up in the air in a wicker basket held up by an oversized balloon. What else do you have?
Well, in that case, we can take you hang gliding with one of our experienced instructors. It's the closest you can get to flying.
What? You mean strap myself to a flimsy kite? No, thank you. Next?
Okay. Well, why don't you tell me a little bit more about what you would like? We have everything from mountain biking to rock climbing to street luge.
I'm thinking something exciting, but safer.
I have the perfect option. This package will take you on a hiking trip through the Himalayas for 3 days, and afterwards there's a dog sledding journey.
That's more like it.
Okay, so Marco, I know this is one of your favorite areas, adventure sports. You're a lot more daring than I am because I wouldn't do many of these things, but what have you done?
I've actually haven't been in a hot air balloon. I don't really think that's very exciting.
It does seem kind of boring.
Yeah, you don't really go very fast. And I've never done a street luge. which is an interesting sport, although it is pretty dangerous. It's basically, you're kind of riding on a type of skateboard, right?
Yeah, basically it's a big skateboard and you lie down on it, your feet go down and your head is back. You're on your back and you go downhill really fast.
This is actually an Olympic sport and it's simply called luge, and you can see this with those big icy tracks that they have, and they go downhill and they slide down on a bobsled. Or luge would actually be the same thing, but just one or two people on some type of like skateboard looking thing.
Basically, it's open. The bobsled is closed, so you see the people's heads, but the luge, you just see their whole body, and they're lying down on a piece of metal, and they go down very, very quickly.
They go very fast. I think in bobsledding and luge, I think they can reach speeds up to like 100 kilometers per hour.
That's
or more.
right. And this year it was actually very sad at the Olympics. A luge, I think it was luge athlete died in practice.
That's right. So extreme sports or adventure sports, they are, as the name says, full of adventure, very exciting, but also obviously very dangerous. I think hiking is not really an adventure sport or very dangerous unless you're hiking in dangerous territory with bears or something.
Possible. Well, maybe you guys should let us know, what kind of sports do you do? Do you enjoy adventure sports? Our website is englishpod.com.
All right, we'll see everyone there.
Bye.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
A huge balloon risen up by hot air. Hot air balloon. In an area of work, study. In the field. Having a sharp surface. Jagged. Larger than what is listed. Oversize. If something said earlier is true. In that case. Gliding in a hang glider. Hang gliding. The easiest way, the most likely thing. The closest thing you can get to. Ride a bicycle designed for riding in mountainous. Mountain biking. The sport of scaling rock masses on mountainsides. Rock climbing. The sport of descending a steep road. Street luge. The sport of rafting down fast-flowing rivers. Whitewater rafting.
Let's try that faster.
The sport of scaling rock masses on mountainsides. Rock climbing. If something said earlier is true. In that case. Gliding in a hang glider. Hang gliding. The sport of rafting down fast-flowing rivers. Whitewater rafting. Having a sharp surface. Jagged. Ride a bicycle designed for riding in mountainous. Mountain biking. The easiest way, the most likely thing. The closest thing you can get to. In an area of work, study. In the field. A huge balloon risen up by hot air. Hot air balloon. The sport of descending a steep road. Street luge. Larger than what is listed. Oversize.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
In the field. I've been working in the medical field for 20 years now. I know it inside and out. In the field. He's only worked in the field for less than a year, so I have no idea why they hired him as the new supervisor. In the field. They tested the new theory for 2 years in the field before publishing their findings. Whitewater rafting. I clung to the sides of the raft as we headed for the rapids and silently wished I had never signed up for whitewater rafting. Whitewater rafting. She has whitewater rafted many, many times before, so you should trust her to get through the journey safely. Whitewater rafting. The summer camp I'll be attending is offering a whitewater rafting excursion. Jagged. I clung to the bridge as I looked down at the jagged rocks hundreds of feet beneath me. Jagged. As I picked up the broken glass, the jagged edges cut into my hand. Jagged. The tailor began to cut off the jagged edges of the piece of fabric. Oversize. The oversized coat engulfed me. Oversize. I began to fall asleep in the oversized armchair. Oversize. In the oil fields in Alberta, oversized trucks 3 stories tall transport oil sands from the field to the refinery. The closest thing you can get to. Eating McDonald's is the closest thing you can get to eating Western food in China. The closest thing you can get to. Descending a steep incline on a roller coaster is the closest you can get to experiencing zero gravity without having to get on a jet plane. The closest thing you can get to. Driving this car is the closest I can get to riding in luxury for under 30 grand.
Are you looking for an easy and fun way to learn English? Welcome to our channel. We provide simple and clear English conversations to help you improve your English skills. Whether you are a beginner or want to get better at speaking, listening, reading, or writing, our channel is the perfect place for you.
Are you looking for an easy and fun way to learn English? Welcome to our channel. We provide simple and clear English conversations to help you improve your English skills. Whether you are a beginner or want to get better at speaking, listening, reading, or writing, our channel is the perfect place for you. Our channel offers real-life English conversations on different topics, making it easy to understand and learn new words and phrases. By listening to our podcast, you will get better at pronouncing words correctly, understanding native speakers, and building confidence in speaking English. Each episode is designed to help you learn naturally without stress. Why should you subscribe? Because our channel helps you learn English in an easy and enjoyable way. You will hear different topics, practice new words, and understand English better. We make learning fun and stress-free, so you can feel confident using English in real life. By following our channel, you will notice a big improvement in your English skills. Our content is simple, clear, and useful for everyday conversations. Whether you're at home, walking, or relaxing, you can listen anytime and keep learning. The more you listen, the faster you will improve.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and today we've got a very special lesson for you all about time.
That's right. We're going to concentrate a little bit on some specific points of grammar this time, and we're going to talk about the morning routine, what you do in the mornings.
Well, let's take a look first at the word routine. This is our vocabulary preview for today.
Vocabulary preview.
All right, so a routine or the morning routine. What is a routine?
A routine is basically your habit for a certain period of time. Mm-hmm. So, for example, your routine in the morning is what you do when you wake up.
Right.
Get breakfast and go to work. You can also have an evening routine. It's what you always do before you go to bed.
Exactly. So everyone has a routine, what they do in the mornings, maybe what you do at night before going to bed. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
That's right. You can also have an exercise routine. So basically anything with steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that you always do the same way. That's the routine.
Exactly, right. So that's what we're going to take a look at today. Why don't we jump right into our dialogue and listen to Stephanie's routine.
Stephanie, did you just get to school? But you were up and about when I left the dorm this morning. That was about an hour and a half ago. This happens all the time. Why do you always take so long to get ready in the mornings?
It's a skill. What can I say? I don't know why. I just have a long routine.
Please explain, because it makes no sense to me. How can a girl's routine be so complicated? You get up, you shower, you get dressed, you brush your teeth, you're out the door. Half an hour tops.
Jacob, you have the luxury of having a haircut that rarely needs styling. I don't. I have to set aside about an hour and a half to get ready in the mornings. Every day, I wake up and head straight for the shower. Every second day, I wash my hair. If it's a hair washing day, I frequently need to wash my hair twice because it gets really oily. Then I usually put in a conditioner and have to rinse that out too. Because my hair is so long, I seldom manage to take a shower in under 20 minutes. Afterwards, I often put on a pot of coffee and get dressed while I wait for it to brew. I take a long time to get dressed in the morning. Every now and then I remember to choose my outfit the night before, but usually I do it in the morning. In all, getting dressed takes about half an hour, at which time my hair is now semi-dry, so then I have to style my hair. From time to time, I'll put my hair up, but oftentimes I blow dry it straight. And then, because of the texture of my hair, I regularly have to flat iron it to keep it from frizzing. That's another 20 minutes or so. After that, I have my daily makeup routine.
True, I hardly ever see you without your hair done and your makeup on, even when you show up to class in sweatpants. Tell me, how long does it take you to choose that outfit in the morning?
Not funny.
All right, we're back. So obviously she has a very complicated routine. I don't know if all girls are like this.
I'm not like this, but I think a lot of girls and some guys are.
Really?
I don't want to be sexist here. I know some guys who take their time in the morning and are very, very particular about the way that they look.
Wow. Well, yeah, I imagine everyone has their morning routine in different ways. And it was interesting to see how she described it. So why don't we take a look at language takeaway?
Language takeaway.
So today's language takeaway, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, is all about time. So we're going to look at some of these important time adverbs.
That's right. These are called adverbs of frequency. And basically, they are telling us how we do things. If we do something all the time or if we never do something.
Or everything in between.
Exactly.
So the first couple we have today are very, very common words. You're going to hear these a lot. The first one is frequently.
Okay, frequently. So if you do something frequently, consider it to be about 75% of the time. Maybe a little bit more, almost 85% of the time.
Right. So it's not always, but it's very often. So for example, I frequently forget to take my keys when I'm leaving the house, which is a very big problem.
Exactly. So considering out of 7 days, maybe you forget your keys 5 days.
Not so good.
All right. So that's frequently. Now let's move on to another one that's actually a lot less. We talk about seldom.
Well, Marco has told me that he seldom forgets his keys. That means he almost always remembers them.
Right. So seldom is a negative adverb. It's saying that almost never. Okay, so if I say, for example, I seldom go to the movies.
That's too bad. I like the movies.
Right? Well, that means that I maybe go to the movie theater once a month.
Yeah, not very often.
Not
seldom.
very often. Seldom. All right. Now, going back to a positive adverb of frequency, we have often. You described frequently as very often.
That's right. So I could also say, I often forget my keys, or it often rains in tropical places. This means this is a common thing.
Exactly. So again, let's consider it to be about 70 to 80% of the time. Now, with pronunciation, some people like to pronounce often, right? They kind of leave out the strong T sound, while other people say often.
That's right.
Both forms are correct, right?
Yes, they're both correct. So you're safe using either of these.
Right. Okay. And our third adverb of frequency, no, our fourth. And our fourth adverb of frequency is also a positive one, and we say usually.
Usually means this is something that you do pretty consistently. I usually brush my hair before I go to sleep. That means not always, but almost every day.
Right. So let's consider out of 7 days, you do it 6 times.
Yeah.
Okay.
I usually do this.
Okay. So usually is, again, very, very common. And something in between, maybe 60% of the time, 50% of the time, we say regularly.
Well, I think of the word regularly as being very closely related to regular. So basically, if I have a schedule, I do the same thing every day. I do it regularly. But sometimes there's a special occasion. For example, I regularly run 5 kilometers after work when I go to the gym. But sometimes when I want to go out with my friends, I don't run. So
Right.
it's not always, but it is pretty regular.
Exactly. So regularly means you do it very often, but there are some exceptions. Okay. Now, those are our adverbs of frequency, but we have a couple of other phrases that are very similar, so we want to take a look at those as well. Let's go back to the beginning of Stephanie's routine when she said that every day I wake up. Okay, so every day means 100% of the time, every single day.
Monday to Sunday.
Exactly. So obviously you wake up every day.
Or I brush my teeth twice every day.
So that's 100% of the time. Now, if we say every second day, what does that mean?
That means Monday, yes. Tuesday, no. Wednesday, yes. Thursday, no. Or any day. So basically, she says, I wash my hair every second day. That means one day I wash my hair, but the next day I don't. The day after that, though, I wash it again. Every second day.
Okay, so you can say every second day, and I think you can also say every other day. Right?
Every other day.
So every other day or every second day.
He calls his mother every other day.
Very good. All right. And she also said that every now and then I remember to choose my outfit.
Okay, well, this one's interesting. This is not very frequent. This is basically saying sometimes.
Sometimes. So now and then. Every now and then means I sometimes do it, I sometimes don't do it.
Every now and then, I really want to eat chocolate, so I buy a candy bar.
Okay, so maybe you want to eat chocolate twice in a month.
Yeah, not very often.
Not very often. Okay. And another one that's very similar is from time to time.
So Marco said that he doesn't go to the movies very frequently, so he goes from time to time.
Right, so I can say I seldom go to the movies, or I can say I like to go to the movies from time to time.
That's right. Or this girl is describing her appearance. She says, from time to time, I put my hair up. So that means most of the time. That means sometimes it's down.
Right.
Sometimes it's up.
Right. So as you can see, there are many different ways of describing the frequency or how many times you do certain actions or your routine, right? So you can use this with a lot of things when you're describing.
And we encourage you to try some of these new ones because a lot of English learners use the same time adverbs whenever they speak. So try and really use some of these and challenge yourself.
Exactly. All right. So that's all we have for language takeaway. Why don't we move on now to Fluency Builder?
Fluency Builder.
Okay, so using some of these adverbs, I can say, I regularly make a pot of coffee in the morning.
Okay, so a pot of coffee. You regularly make a pot of coffee. That means you like to drink coffee every day.
That's right. I always need my cup of coffee in the morning, so I usually make it first thing.
So a pot of coffee, we know what a cup of coffee is, but a pot of coffee, what is a pot?
A pot is basically the container that you use when you brew coffee, when you make it. So you put the coffee beans in the machine, and instead of having a cup underneath, you have a bigger container. That's a pot. You can also have a pot of tea.
Exactly.
It's many cups, usually 8 or 10 cups.
All right. And remember that verb, to brew coffee. I think it's a very nice, kind of fancy way of saying making coffee.
Brew a pot of coffee.
I'm brewing some coffee. All right. So apart from coffee and all of these things, let's take a look at some of the specific phrases that she used when she was talking about her hair, because I think her hair is very complicated.
It is very complicated. Sometimes she washes her hair. Sometimes she doesn't wash her hair. Sometimes she blow dries it straight.
Okay, so to blow dry means that you use a blow dryer.
That's right. This is a machine that uses electricity to blow hot air on your hair so that your hair will dry quickly. But you can blow dry your hair in many ways. Some people have curly hair and they have special tools for making their hair curly. But she says she blow dries it straight. That means she makes it straight with the hot air.
Right. So I think the way you do this is you take the blow dryer and a brush and you brush while you blow dry, right?
Yep.
Awesome.
Making lines.
See, I know a little bit about this, even though I don't have long enough hair for this.
No, I guess, well, maybe you are secretly one of those guys who has a routine like this woman.
I don't think I can take this much time in the shower and brushing my hair. But moving on, actually, I also know this next phrase, to flat iron your hair.
Okay, so flat iron is a noun and a verb. So I use a flat iron or I can flat iron my hair. This is a tool that we use that's very, very hot. Think of an iron. It's very, very hot. And it basically presses my hair and makes it very, very, very thin and flat and straight.
Right. So I think people that have straight hair don't need to really flat iron their hair.
Nah, but if you have very curly hair, then you need it.
So what's the difference? Give us the insight here. Why wouldn't you just blow dry it straight? Why do you need to flat iron it?
Because a flat iron makes it more flat. It makes your hair stick together more, and it's much, much, much hotter than a blow dryer.
Okay. So I guess if you use a blow dryer, then you have puffy hair, or like the next word that she described, frizzy hair.
Okay, so the adjective to describe this kind of hair is frizzy. For example, when it's very rainy, my hair is frizzy. That means that it sticks out. It's very thick and not straight.
Okay.
It's not curly, but it's, it's messy.
It kind of inflates.
That's right. It's like a little balloon. But the verb here is to frizz. So my hair is frizzing.
Okay. And that means that it's getting like this, bigger or inflated.
That's right. So usually girls who have this problem have it worse during very humid or rainy days. Not so bad when it's dry.
Okay, so I actually have a little bit of frizzy hair. That's why I have to use some sort of
hair gel
or mousse. See, it's not because I'm vain. It's just because if I don't use this, I'll come in looking like a lion. And I don't think
I think I might have to insist that happens sometime soon. We can take a picture and put it on our website, englishbot.com.
For sure. All right, so why don't we go back and listen to the dialogue one last time.
Stephanie, did you just get to school? But you were up and about when I left the dorm this morning. That was about an hour and a half ago. This happens all the time. Why do you always take so long to get ready in the mornings?
It's a skill. What can I say? I don't know why. I just have a long routine.
Please explain, because it makes no sense to me. How can a girl's routine be so complicated? You get up, you shower, you get dressed, you brush your teeth, you're out the door. Half an hour tops.
Jacob, you have the luxury of having a haircut that rarely needs styling. I don't. I have to set aside about an hour and a half to get ready in the mornings. Every day, I wake up and head straight for the shower. Every second day, I wash my hair. If it's a hair washing day, I frequently need to wash my hair twice because it gets really oily. Then I usually put in a conditioner and have to rinse that out too. Because my hair is so long, I seldom manage to take a shower in under 20 minutes. Afterwards, I often put on a pot of coffee and get dressed while I wait for it to brew. I take a long time to get dressed in the morning. Every now and then I remember to choose my outfit the night before, but usually I do it in the morning. In all, getting dressed takes about half an hour, at which time my hair is now semi-dry, so then I have to style my hair. From time to time, I'll put my hair up, but oftentimes I blow dry it straight. And then, because of the texture of my hair, I regularly have to flat iron it to keep it from frizzing. That's another 20 minutes or so. After that, I have my daily makeup routine.
True, I hardly ever see you without your hair done and your makeup on, even when you show up to class in sweatpants. Tell me, how long does it take you to choose that outfit in the morning?
Not funny.
All right, so actually talking about morning routines, and we've given you so many tools, I think it would be a great idea if our users came to our site, englishpod.com, and posted a part of their morning routine, trying to use as many adverbs of frequency as possible.
That's a great suggestion. And to get you all started, I could give you a little bit of my routine.
All right, let's hear it.
Every morning when I wake up, I turn off the alarm, which is very loud, and I take a shower. I always brush my teeth, and I usually brew a pot of coffee, although sometimes I don't have time to brew my coffee, and I wait until I arrive at my office. I seldom choose the clothes I will wear the night before. I almost always choose them in the morning, and generally I ride my bike to work, but not always.
Okay, I think in the winter you seldom ride your bike to work.
Every once in a while I ride
Every
it.
now and then. All right, see? You have a perfect example there of more or less what we expect, but also it would be interesting to see if you have any other type of routine. I know some people wake up in the morning and the first thing they do, they always walk their dog, for example.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
Other people are very hungry, so they almost always eat
First.
right when they wake up.
I eat before I brush my teeth.
Well, smart, actually.
Yeah. All right, so we want to hear from you guys. Come to englishpod.com. We'll see everyone there.
Bye.
Bye. The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
Out of bed and beginning to move around. Up and about. To keep time for a particular purpose. Set aside. Often. Frequently. Almost never. Seldom. Whenever. At which time. Once in a while. From time to time. Frequently. Oftentimes. Cosmetics applied to improve your appearance. Makeup. A set of clothes. Outfit.
Let's try that faster.
Often. Frequently. Out of bed and beginning to move around. Up and about. Cosmetics applied to improve your appearance. Makeup. Frequently. Oftentimes. Almost never. Seldom. Once in a while. From time to time. A set of clothes. Outfit. To keep time for a particular purpose. Set aside. Whenever. At which time.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Up and about. Once I started taking the medication, I was up and about in no time. Up and about. He's usually up and about by 7 a.m. Up and about. Everyone else in the house is usually already up and about by the time I wake up. Set aside. I set aside 20 minutes every day to meditate. Set aside. You really need to set aside some time this week to work on your final project. Set aside. I set aside food for the next day's lunch and then ate the rest for dinner. Frequently. She frequently visits her grandfather on the weekends. Frequently. I frequently like to take drives in the countryside to get out of the city. Frequently. I eat the fish, but not frequently, maybe once or twice a month. Seldom. He seldom speaks about his family. Seldom. My roommate is always in her room. She seldom comes out. Seldom. I seldom manage to see my family now that I'm living on the other side of the country. At which time, I walked in the room, at which time my dog leaped up and gave me a huge kiss. At which time, dessert was served after dinner, at which time a string quartet began to play. At which time, he found a dead end, so he turned around and started to walk back down the alleyway, at which time several gang members turned the corner and stopped in front of him.
Don't wait. Subscribe now and start your journey to better English. Turn on notifications so you never miss a new lesson. Like, comment, and share with others who want to learn English too. Let's learn together and make English easy and fun. By following our channel, you will notice a big improvement in your English skills. Our content is simple, clear, and useful for everyday conversations. Whether you're at home, walking, or relaxing, you can listen anytime and keep learning. The more you listen, the faster you will improve. Why should you subscribe? Because our channel helps you learn English in an easy and enjoyable way. You will hear different topics, practice new words, and understand English better. We make learning fun and stress-free, so you can feel confident using English in real life. Are you looking for an easy and fun way to learn English? Welcome to our channel. We provide simple and clear English conversations to help you improve your English skills. Whether you are a beginner or want to get better at speaking, listening, reading, or writing, our channel is the perfect place for you. Fict.